All right, Vanshul, I think we are live. Yes, we are. See the sign on the top. Awesome. Should we start, Vanshul?
Sure, we can.
Awesome. Great. So, welcome again, Vanshul. Thank you so much for joining us for this Beyond Code conversation brought to you by Rebased by Recro, which is one of the developers community for all the developers to join in and be a part of, and wherein they can connect with fellow developers, learn from the experienced mentors that we have in the community. And we are so thrilled to have you in this conversation. We know your journey so far that you're going to share with us. And I'm pretty sure that we will have some very exciting takeaways for the developers also who are listening to us, and for us also to learn from you. So thank you so much, Vanshul, for joining us.
Thanks, Rashmi, for inviting me for this conversation. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So let's get started with a quick introduction of yours. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And a little bit about Vetic also.
Okay. So yeah, currently I'm working as a CTO for Vetic. I'm basically from Delhi. Spent first 16 years of my life in Delhi, did my schooling in Delhi, and then I moved to Haridwar, a smaller city in Uttarakhand, because my parents are from Haridwar, so we just shifted there. I did my graduation from College of Engineering, Roorkee. And then I moved to multiple places in India, across India. As such, I've moved globally, multiple organizations and all. So Vetic is a pet care brand where we are revolutionizing and digitizing the pet care industry. And we are creating technology and products for our pet parents so that we can enable them to have a seamless experience of booking creation for their pets. So currently, if you see the industry, it's fragmented. There is no single brand which is available across India. And there is no single brand which is working through technology. They are all working offline via pen and papers, sending all the, I would say, records via WhatsApp. And also there is no brand as such which is digitizing the whole experience. At Vetic, we are doing it. So we have created products where we send real-time invoices, vaccination alerts, real-time medical records, and pet health blogs on the app, and they can access, all our pet parents get access via a single tap. So that's what we are doing. We are currently having 11 clinics across NCR region, opening 2 more. And by this year end, we'll be available in other parts of India also.
Awesome. Shout out to Vetic for making it so easy and seamless for all the pet parents out there, because I'm pretty sure it could be very problematic and hassle some for them to actually look at all the resources all at one place. So kudos to you guys for enabling that for them. Okay. All right. So Vanshul, you come from a tier 3 city. You are from Haridwar, right? I'm also from Uttarakhand, Rishikesh. So good to know that. And from a very small city and a tier 3 college also, right? You have come from them to becoming a CTO, right? I am pretty sure that the journey would have been, very challenging also, and full of a learning experience also for you. So, and I'm pretty sure that there would be developers who might be currently, living the same life, would be in the smaller cities, and have an aspiration to do big, right? So let's hear from you how your journey has been, from coming from a small city to becoming a CTO. Can you take us through that journey and tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay. So yeah, as I mentioned, I did my BTech from College of Engineering, Roorkee. Ours was, I think, the second or the third batch for electronics and telecommunication. And yeah, so it was a pretty small college at that time, not known to multiple people, but it was very near to our house. So my parents said, because I've not stayed far from them, they wanted me to be a day ski. I was not even a hostler as such. I was traveling to college daily, morning, coming back in the evening and all. So that's how the journey started. I took electronic and telecommunication because that time EC was on a boom. There were multiple, I would say, industries and organizations which were hiring electronic folks. And just to mention, I was the first person in my family who took, I would say, engineering stream. Most of the people they haven't done it. And I'm the first person as such who took a job. So my family is a business-oriented family. I was the first person who took a job and moved out of the comfort zone of being part of the family. And I got my first job at Wipro in Hyderabad. So stayed there in Hyderabad for a smaller duration and then moved back to Bangalore, again Wipro. So yeah, my journey started from Hyderabad, took a turn, and then I moved to Pune. For Pune, I was working with KPIT for a smaller duration, and it was like a staff augmentation project where I traveled to Johannesburg for Standard Bank of South Africa. Almost stayed there for a year. Came back, and then I moved to Mindtree, again a service-based organization. From Mindtree, I was recruited for a health tech startup in US. I was there for a month. I came back again, and then I got a chance to work with Target. So Target was, I would say, the best moment in my life that time, because it was an organization which was a product-based organization, and we had a boom that time that okay, product-based organization and startups will be the future. So I got to work with Target, and Target was, I would say, the organization which has made my career, and it has taken it to the side, because I've learned from folks who are stalwarts in the industry as such. I worked with them, so that's where the my career as such have grown to these leaps and bounds. I was in US for almost 2.5 years in Minneapolis, handling a integration space for Target. And then I moved back to India because of family reasons in 2018. Got opportunity to work in a startup, Oyo. So it was a big startup, and it was my first startup experience as such when I landed back in India. So my team was like a 5-member team when I started. Grew it to 97-member team in 2.5 years, where from like the OOS, which is the product for all hotel operations and all, I moved to handling the global supply and transformation and finance platforms. So 97-member team, if we talk about, seems a huge number, but definitely the quality of folks which we have, the quality of team members which we had, it was a bit easier for me to kind of manage all those team members, I would say. 2021, I moved to Lokanath. So I got an opportunity to work in IoT industry assets. That was my first opportunity. Got to work with the partner solutions team there. And from a 3 geography penetration, we went on to 87 geography penetration in technology, and our products, our SaaS products were being used by 87 different geographies as such. 2023, now almost 45 days at Vetic. So I'm handling the overall technology ecospace as Vetic. So in Vetic, we have different technologies. We have an app. We are working on web products for our clinic operations, because I've mentioned about the pet parents, but our core is clinic operations currently. Even at the clinic, we have multiple products. We have a SaaS-based solution which we are working on. So there are multiple products which we are building even for the clinic ops.
Got it. And you also mentioned that you come from a business background and you are the first one to choose engineering. Why so? What made you, what were you thinking?
So I remember after school hours, so when I was in 10th and 11th and 12th, I believe, after school hours, I used to go to my shop with my father. And we had a garments business, even in Delhi and even in Haridwar. So what I felt was, because I was good in studies from the beginning itself, I would not really take business forward, because see, business is, I know it's cash guzzling, but even cash burning, right? So you have to put in cash to earn cash. And again, so my thing was that I'll be working in a AC office. I'll not be sitting in the shop and kind of all those things. So that was my perspective. And definitely I wanted to move out of that family comfort so that the best in me can be shown, right? Because when you're in that family comfort and all, you've seen all your, I would say, siblings and all, and business and everything. So it's that monotonous thing which happens. So I wanted to be a part of something which is a new thing for me, move out and have more friends outside, learn from them, learn from different culture, learn from different people and all. So that's where I wanted, okay, I'll take a job.
Got it. Do you had anyone like by your side who could mentor you or who could guide you at that point of time?
Not really as such, I would say. So in college, I had friends like who were part of community and all. But from family perspective, because everyone was in business and all, so didn't get much push as such. So I got into 2 colleges as such. One was Bharati Vidyapeeth Pune, but my parents didn't want me to go to Pune because it was far off from our home. Then Coir was the nearest one. I got 130 All India rank in UP AI I believe was the examination. Coir was the first choice for my parents because they said पास में है, so be near to us. So that was it. And yeah, definitely then once I started kind of like going through my college journey and all, I got to realize that there are multiple things which we could learn from different people, multiple things in technology space which was handling. So Wipro in our mind, if I talk about my first organization, Wipro, right? Wipro in our mind was like it is selling soap, it is selling all other things and on. I was not even aware that it's a technology-based organization. So that's where the journey was. That's where my journey started. And yeah, it was a new experience for me in college.
Great. Vanshul, I also liked one more thing from the conversation that you just said that, you work with service-based companies and then Target happened, right? And that's when you thought that, okay, that was a real turning point for your career because you got to work with best of the folks, right? So a lot of people, that's how a lot of developers start their journey, right? Working with service-based companies, and then maybe they feel like, okay, so let's switch to a product-based company for holistic learning, right? So what is your take on it? I mean, should developers at front look at let just the product-based company, or how that experience pan out? If you can throw some light on that.
Yeah, see, it all depends on how the placement goes, how your college can give you placement, and also if I talk about my college, we got placement through off-campus. So most of the organizations as such were not coming to the college because it was in Roorkee. There was IIT Roorkee. Most of the organizations were going there, and also I got my off-site campus campus placement through a Noida-based college, right? So it all depends where you get the placement. See, service-based organizations are good. I would say product-based organizations are better because you learn far more. But there is no point that you can say, okay, service-based organization, the learning is less, right? So in service-based organization, if you join in, I would say you have to put in maybe 2x the effort to learn new technologies and all, because you'll be put into a project, and that project will be working for or will be going on for say 2 years, 3 years and all. So your technology skills and all might not enhance that much. So you have to keep on learning every day, or maybe every month keep a target that 10% of my time I will spend on learning new technology outside my project scope and all. And that's what is required even from I would say folks from tier 3 college or tier 2 colleges, because the culture in IITs and NITs is a bit different than the culture in all these colleges. So we haven't done active coding in college. Most of these, I would say, newer colleges, or I would say tier 1 colleges, there are programs within the college itself where they do program like all active coding and everything, right? For their placements and all. In our college, there was nothing of that sort. And even being part of EC, we never did coding, right? And even in my interview at Wipro, so the interviewer was from electronics. He asked me questions about satellite and all, and that's how I got.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would have been a pain to even get through and get a placement.
Yeah.
So folks from tier 3 colleges will definitely will have to put in more effort. Not that time as such. I'm saying when we were in tier 3, even now, folks from tier 3 colleges will have to put in a bit more effort, because that culture is not still, I would say, there in all these colleges.
Right.
Now, at least with startups booming and all, the culture is
Right.
building, because there are startups which are hiring even from these colleges. They hire the whole batch and then they start working with them. So
Right.
basically, when you are in a service organization, start learning new things, start learning about different products, how different organizations are built. You have multiple videos on YouTube which you can watch.
Right.
What system design, how the systems look, how open source technologies work and all. And definitely you can crack a product-based organization. So even I cracked the interview through the same thing. I watched YouTube videos, I watched multiple other things, and that's how I cracked interview, got into the industry, started learning on new tech space and all. And
Right.
that's how everyone can do it.
Got it. And Vanshul, since we are on the point of the college, right? It does play a crucial role in terms of how your career is going to look like, right? Um, Especially when you are in the tier 1 college, you have a lot of opportunities with you, right? Uh, your college also provides a lot of exposure and opportunities to you. Um, about those who are still in the tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, right? And look, considering that the tech landscape has changed a lot from the last 10 years, right? Um, can you throw some light on those who are still maybe in the final year of engineering, or getting into engineering, third year, fourth year, how should they kind of, what, and especially those who are in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities and in tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, what should they be doing to have a better career opportunities for themselves, which the college won't be providing to them, considering the competition is huge and considering the tech landscape has changed a lot in the last decade.
But I think college plays a very important role in shaping up your career. So even if it's a tier 3 college, tier 2 college, you are fresh out of school, the learning in the school is almost common across all the schools, but college defines who you will become as such in the industry, right? So my suggestion will be during the college, there will be days when you will get time to learn new stuff. You will be getting time to learn new technologies and all. So be part of multiple groups, be part of multiple communities as such, where these active coding and all is happening. And it's not restricted to, I would say, tier 1 and tier 2 cities, right? In tier 3 also, because everything is online now, you can be part of those communities. Geek for Geeks is a very good community as such, where you can learn active coding and all. You can kind of give exams, you can kind of practice all those questions, you can scale up your ranks and everything, because most of the organization, if it is even a service based organization, a product based organization, or even it can be a fan organization, the interview pattern for first or second round where you're asked to do DS algo coding is almost same. The complexity will increase definitely, but you will be asked to kind of solve the similar problems, and most of the problems are coming from same space. Definitely, if you are going for fan, the complexity will be much more, but all other organizations, it's the same part of interview. So being in a tier 2 or tier 3 college, I would say when you are in hostel or even if you are a day ski, build that community, start active coding every day, learn something new, and not only focus on active coding, even focus on the product design, because most of the things which you will be working on, say if you get recruited into a service-based organization, will be definitely on hands-on coding and all. But in case you get a chance to work in a startup, maybe on a minimal salary also, I'm fine, because the learning is more. Take that opportunity, kind of grind through it, and then when you're working on a product, you will get to know from the beginning how the product is conceptualized, how you define your schemas, how you define your design, how the product is baked in, how you code it, how you test it, how you deliver and nurture the products, right? So there are various stages as such of product development. In service-based organization, you'll not be able to get the chance, because you'll be working on a product which is already built, and you will be kind of working on active coding. But if you get a chance through startup, definitely your career will shape up in a different direction. Even tier 3, tier 2 colleges, being I would say in tier 3 cities itself, there are multiple startups which are mushrooming now. So it's not restricted to NCR, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai and all. There are startups being opened in Kochi. There are startups in South India. Zoho, you know, right? It's a $1 billion organization bootstrapped from Kochi itself. There is another organization, Brainwired, working in pet industry as such. I'm an investor on that organization. So definitely they are also from Kochi. So yeah, there are multiple organizations in Dehradun. You are from Rishikesh. Yeah. There are multiple organizations in Dehradun which are coming up. Even I think Infosys, Wipro, one of these bigger organizations, they're opening their campus. Organizations are mushrooming in Mussoorie also, a hill station, right? So I'm just talking about Uttarakhand. We both are from India. Multiple tier 3 cities are having startups now coming up. And the colleges which are nearby, they'll recruit all those folks from the college which are nearby, because it's easier for them, so that the folks don't have to travel, these work from home situations and all these things. Folks can be in office now. So you have opportunities, ample opportunities. It's just that you want to just grab one of the opportunities, start working on it and just excel in life. So that's my advice to the new folks, that take that opportunity which comes your way, whether it's a service based, whether it's a product based. Service wala bhi, if you take it first, you will get a product based organization. So it's not that you'll be restricted to a service based.
Yeah, very rightly said, Vanshul. And also you mentioned about community, right? This is, since we are into developers community, right? This is one thing which we see, that a lot of developers are not even aware that there are communities like Rebase which exist for them. Geeks for Geeks, you mentioned. GDG communities are there, which do various local chapters also in various cities also. So I think it's also about a little bit about awareness, and being a part of the community also unlock a lot of opportunities for you, and not only in terms of job opportunities only, but in terms of being like having a professional network also, which will for sure pay you if not today, for sure tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, one plugin that I would want to just put here is figure out communities, tech communities around you, offline communities. After COVID, everything has gone online. So just check out online communities and be a part of any community which you find relevant for you and which you find interesting.
Definitely. So your communities help you a lot because there will be people from different parts of India. There will be people from different industries, different technology stacks and all, and you can learn multiple things. See, working on a design or working on a product, it's almost similar. Technology can be different, but when you're building a product and building a concept, that remains same, right? So when you're building from top down, definitely you will be aware of only the technology stack. But when you're building from bottom up, you will be building those smaller pieces, right? You build that Jenga, smaller pieces here and there, and it builds a building. So that's how the products are built. And these technical communities and even product communities, they help you a lot in different aspects. Scalar has started a program recently. Even I am attending those sessions, and those are happening from 8 p.m. in the night to 11 p.m. in the night, 3 hour sessions and all. So sessions. It's not that you have to pay for everything just to like they add up here. That most of these sessions are free. So you don't have to be like you have to spend money on it and then learn something. All these system design, Go Greeks and all these things, these are online available. These are free. So folks can just spend time. Everyone has internet nowadays. Everyone has a smartphone. Spend your time on all these communities, learn something, and then definitely your career will start growing up leaps and bounds.
Right, right. Also, Vanshul, so when you started your career, right, it's been more than 10 years now.
Yeah.
You started with, working with these service-based companies. So just take us through, the challenges that you have faced early on in your career, so that the listeners can also maybe relate to some of the challenges that they are facing, and also tell us that how did you deal with those challenges? How did you overcome those challenges, right? Uh, I was speaking to, we were having this group mentorship session, and one of the developer was saying that, okay, I have 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, but my experience is very, horizontal. I haven't worked on just one tech stack, but multiple tech stacks. So I don't know what next for me, what kind of company should I join next? I am getting, screen rejected in a lot of companies. So different people, different challenges early on in their career, right? There are people who feel a little stuck with respect to, okay, yeah, what do I do next?
Yeah.
Have no idea. Or maybe which tech stack should I learn now, which is more in demand. So multiple people, multiple challenges. If you can also take us through what were your challenges back in those days which you faced, and how did you overcome it, and what would be your recommendation and suggestions for those who are still very early on their career, having 2 to 3 years of experience, and how should they kind of unwrap this or get out of this confusion zone?
Got it. So yeah, so I was a newbie to the industry. As I mentioned, we never did active coding in college. So I did my first Java coding, I would say, a program as such I've written and during the training in Wipro. So there is a 2.5 months to 3 months training where we need to kind of learn one technology. That time it was C++ or Java. I chose Java. And then we started learning Java, and I was not even aware what is the difference between the two. And I'll be honest about it because we were not coding in college, right? So folks said from CE said like computer science said Java is better. Okay, we'll opt for it. So we learned Java there, started writing programs and all. And I remember the first project which I got was in Wipro was from Nokia Siemens Networks. So that time Nokia was a big brand and they were having their network solution, phones and all those things. So I got their project and it was in Java. For the first 1.5 to 2 months, I was just solving bugs. And the bugs were so simple that, okay, on the UI, this is the spelling is incorrect. Go to the file, change the spelling, run the program, it should appear on the UI. And I remember almost for 2.5 to 3 months, every day it was bug solving. And I was like, even frustrated at some time, what am I doing with my life, right? Because 2.5 to 3 months, and that was because I was not that much hands-on in coding. So they started like I started slowly and I kind of started getting into it. After 3 to 4 months, I remember I got a new lead, like lead engineer as such, who was mentoring me, and he started teaching me how to write better code in Java, how to write test cases. I started active coding on bigger projects and all. So that's where my career took a U-turn. I would say because first 3 months was so frustrating. I thought, okay, I'll go and join my business itself because this is not happening for me, and that's something which is better for me because at least I have a command over it, right? But yeah, definitely, first few months will be tough for folks from tier two, tier three, and even tier one colleges if they have not done active coding as such. Those who have non-CE and all mechanical, civil engineer, it will be a bit tough for them. But in case you get good mentors, good friends, I would say good managers and all, it will be easy because I'll just point out that I've got good managers from the beginning of my career. There was not even a point of, I would say, a day where I thought that I'm being scolded by my managers or my managers are not supported, right? Supporting me right from Wipro till I would say my previous organization, till I had managers and all, I had got very supportive managers and all. My advice to tier two folks, or I would say tier two college folks, will be that just put in your best effort.
Hmm.
Nothing which is impossible, right? You have to learn, and definitely you have to learn. You will not be able to work in an organization even if you are from a IIT if you're not learning new technologies and learning on the project.
Right.
Technology will give you basics. A DS algo will give you which algo will be better, which data science will, which data structure will be better and all. But what to write for that particular project, what part of code will work, how to write it, how to optimize it, right? That will not be taught in colleges. That will be on-job program, on-job training itself, right? So just go with the flow, start learning new stuff, start building products, and definitely you will have to put in much more effort. But you say you will get an edge when you are from a tier one college, but that's just an edge when you are getting into organization. Once you are part of an organization, you all will be working on similar projects. We are writing APIs for last 6 years, I remember, and APIs are just similar for last 6 years, whether it's APIs being built by tier one college folks, APIs being built by tier two colleges folks, right?
Yeah.
Similar programming. So that's where I would say my suggestion will be technology will improve leaps and bounds in next 5 years also.
Right.
From a point where we were writing, I remember code manually in Eclipse. That was an IDE at that time in Java. It was a manual code asset which we had to write each and every line to a point in ID where we get auto suggestions to a point now where we have chat GPT. You just tell it and it will give you a code, right? Basic,
Right.
at least boilerplate code you get there.
Yeah.
So we've grown leaps and bounds. I think the next will be you just just speak in front of computer and the code will be ready and it will be deployed onto production. And there
Right.
are tools being built which are having capability till that point also. So yeah, that's where I would say the technology is heading. Definitely, folks are thinking that because we have advancement in technologies, there will be these technology will kill the jobs and the folks will be unemployed and all. That's not the case because all these technologies will help you to grow in your career, will help you to build
Right.
products, and the newer products, newer organization will start coming. Last 7 to 10 years, technology has advanced, but there is not even a single point where we say the jobs have reduced. Just forget about the recent layoff because of the winter funding and all the funding winter
Yeah.
and all. But definitely the jobs are improving. So even tier three, tier two college folks will have equal opportunity in future also.
Right. We were having this conversation with our founder, I guess, and this is what we were talking about, that AI is not going to change, AI is not going to take our jobs, but it will definitely take the jobs of those people who are not adapting to the AI environment that we are in. I mean, we are seeing, 50 to 100 new AI tools coming every single day, right? From marketing to tech to everything. So yeah, I think it's all about adoption and leveraging those for becoming a better version of yourself.
See, it's all about data nowadays. Earlier, I remember there was not much focus on data. Now, customer insights are so much in focus that where the customer is clicking on your website, where the
Right.
customer is clicking on your app, uh,
Right.
is he using WhatsApp more or is he opening your app more? At what time in the day is he opening WhatsApp and seeing your notification? At what time
Right.
is he open? So, customer insights are very critical nowadays. Data is critical, and that's where AI plays a good part because you get all those insights via different tools. You can build your own tools if you want, but to sell your product, to upsell your product, and to even sell multiple other things to the customer as such, depending on what his behavior is,
Hmm.
like recommendation, right? And Amazon, you buy a shirt, it will recommend multiple things.
Correct.
That's where these AI and ML models come into picture, and data plays an important role in it also.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. All right. So, Vanshul, like when we see the 10 to 12 year span of your career, right? working with different companies, you have moved from an IC role to a leadership team management role also, right? So those who are early on in their career, maybe looking forward to having like 2 to 3 years of experience and looking forward to getting into a team management sort of a role rather than IC roles, what would be your suggestion and your because both are completely different, right? In an IC role, you are just focused on your own work, okay, you have your own things to do, and that's all. In a team management kind of a role, you know that you're responsible for the growth of your team, right? From their appraisals to their well-being to ensuring that the attrition doesn't happen, everything you are responsible for, right? So what skill set would be needed if someone is moving from an IC role to a team management role?
See, definitely technology is important because earlier days, I remember there were people managers and project managers. People managers were the managers who were taking care of, I would say, the well-being, appraisals, training of the employees. So they were managing the people aspect or the soft skill aspect of all the people. And the project managers were the managers who were working on the technology part. So there was a clear segregation. Now, if you talk about industry, we have engineering managers, right?
Yeah.
Engineering managers are equally technically capable like their engineers itself, because if the engineers are stuck at any point, engineering manager has the responsibility to overcome those situations,
Right.
to have a team building kind of a scenario, because you will be working with cross teams. I'll give an example of Oyo. There were, I think, 11 or 12 teams parallelly working at Oyo, and we had to kind of meet every team, solve problems together, and also that is part of the role and responsibility of engineering manager. So we wear multiple hats. At one day, we'll be a person who is coding as such and giving to us to his team for all the sync-ups. At one day, we'll be working with product managers. At other day, we'll be working with other teams as such, solving their problems. So that's how I would say the shift has happened from plain basic people manager, or I would say a leadership role, to a technology leadership role. But definitely, when you are moving from an IC to a leadership role, it will take time to adjust to the situation which you have. Because when you are an IC, you will be working only on your project. Your responsibility will be close my project, my work is done, right? That's how you deliver it. But when you are an engineering manager, your responsibility is to deliver a project overall, which multiple other teams might be building. But your core responsibility will be to coordinate with multiple team members within your org as such and across org, coordinate with multiple business leaders as such to define business cases, coordinate with product leaders to define how the product will be scoped, and then only you can deliver a product. So my advice to folks who are moving from an IC role, and I believe nowadays because of the startups, after 4 to 5 years, people become engineering managers. My advice will be that put yourself in the shoes of the other folks, because when you were coding initially in your career, even you had to take time to kind of learn new technologies, right? So think of those days when you were learning, and then think of the, I would say, a fresher who is working in your team. You cannot expect him to work the similar way your tech lead is working, right? So I've seen managers who will have 2 or 3 interns and 2 or 3 SDs as senior SDs, and they'll believe that, okay, senior SDs will also, sorry, the interns will also work as senior SDs, and they'll want to churn out the same work out of them. That is entirely not possible, because there will be a time we have to learn and all. Give responsibility to all the team members so that they can grow in their career. So when you get responsibilities early in your career, like in startups, you get responsibility early in your career, right? But in a service base, or I would say MNC, there are teams for different work. There will be a team who is working on, I would say, coding. There will be a team which is testing, a team which is working on, I would say, DevOps, a team which will be working on multiple other things. But in a startup, because it's a smaller team, you have to work on different things. So definitely there will be a learning curve for everyone. So you should definitely have empathy for all your, I would say, team members, and definitely you should be the shield which is in front, and you have to lead from the front. You cannot be that, okay, if the project is working, it's because of me. If the project is not working, it's because of the team members. That's not the case. So you should always lead from the front. So the folks who are moving from IC will definitely learn it during their initial days, because even I was feeling that, okay, for the simple API, why the team member is asking for 3 days? It should be done in 2 days. But when I think more about it, that one day is a buffer for him also in case the cross dependency is not resolved. So you
Right.
think about all other things, and then your team will outgrow as such. So you have to definitely put your, I would say, organization first, because organization goals are important. Your team second, and you will be third always, because you have to first fulfill what your organization needs from you. Second thing is what your team needs from you, because they are the people who are working actively on the projects, and you are managing, you are an enabler, right? You are not working on the project. And the third will be you, in case you get time for yourself, that will be the time for you, but you have to put more time for your teams and everyone.
Right. So if you are somebody who want to be just in your zone and just work, so better to be in IC role. And if you are someone who is an extrovert who likes stakeholder management, talking to cross-functional teams, then maybe a team management role, right?
Yeah, there are ICs, or I would say in India, there was, I would say, a point where people were thinking, okay, if after 5 to 6 years he has not become a manager, he's not worth it. Nowadays, in Amazon and multiple other organizations, people are there who are working for 15, 16 years and just in technology being IC. Right?
Right.
We have principal engineer, distinguished engineers at IBM
Right.
at 25 years experience.
Right.
I remember in Johannesburg, SBSA, there was a person who was 56 years of age and still doing active coding on mainframe. He was working with us on mainframe, and we were like, so I would say my father was not 56 at that time.
Yeah.
And he was actively working with us with equal energy. So
Yeah.
this, in India, only I believe that's the case where people think, okay, when you grow in your career, you have to become a manager and all.
Yeah.
That's not the case. If you feel that you want to do active coding throughout your career, be a IC, learn new technologies, build products, you can work on those streams. But in case you get an opportunity for a leadership role and you feel that you are equally capable for that role, right? Because you are taking responsibility of your team and their well-being also, and their upskilling also, because you need to make them leaders of future. It's
Right.
not that you will grow in your career, you have to make them grow in your career, then only you can grow. Right. So if you have those skills, definitely, and even organizations are having programs for engineering manager in training. OYO was having a program where they were training engineering, I would say budding engineering managers with senior engineering managers, where they can see the skills and all. And in case I feel that, okay, I'm not what it wants to be, that role wants me to be, I'll be saying, okay, I'll be working only on the IC part of it.
I think it's a good takeaway for those folks who are in that state of confusion, whether which path to choose, right? Whether I should be in the IC role or a managerial role. So I think this is gonna be quite helpful for them. All right. So moving on to the next question, Vanshul, can you kind of take us through your experience of how the tech landscape has changed when you started it, and currently, you are the CTO, right, at Vetic. So how the tech uh, landscape has changed over these years, and what is something that you find exciting about currently? I think I'm assuming AI would be one of them, but yeah, your take on that.
Yeah, so landscape has changed a lot. I started with Java, plain basic Java developer. Then I moved to IBM products, which were packaged products. I started working with them, and that was the time when all the BFSI projects and all your healthcare and retail projects, they were using IBM products. And that was a niche skill in market. In India, I believe when I was in Message Broker, there were only 200, 300 folks who were working on that technology. And they all were getting on-site project. And my plan was, okay, even I get an on-site project, I'll be in US or somewhere and I'll work there. So that's why I moved to these technologies. But after 3 years, there was a shift around 2014, I believe there was a shift in open source technologies where your Java was working as the base, I would say, a base language, and you were building on top of it. So Kafka, RabbitMQ for queuing, you have multiple Elasticsearch and all. Those all started from 2012 to 2015, 16-ish time frame. So there was a major shift because the people who were working on these packaged products faced a lot of difficulty to, I would say, manage these open source technologies, because Java is the core of everything. And if you have started your career just from packaged products, you will be focusing only on packaged product. And there are few of my friends also who are working for last, I would say, 10 to 12 years on packaged product, because they haven't made a move to the newer technologies, right? From those newer technologies now to technologies where it is AI and ML. So yeah, I touched upon a point where I mentioned that data is key. earlier there was not much reliance on data. People were not collecting much data because people were thinking, okay, when the needs are being fulfilled for consumer, we are done. But that's just one point of sale. You cannot have a lifetime value for a customer, which is one point of sale, right? Say from Vetic's point of view, if a customer is coming from OPD, which is just a doctor consultation, definitely we'll have data points when he visited us, whether the similar category, similar breed of pet requires a grooming session with us, we'll be sending them notifications. If the grooming is done, okay, now we can sell food. So there are multiple touch points within our ecosystem where we can have those heavy reliance on data, right?
Right.
And from a point where writing code manually to now automatically just tell AI system and they will give you the code and they learn new things as such. So we even had Stack Overflows and all where you can ask questions and you can get recommendations. But that's plain basic recommendations you will get and then you'll have to adapt it into your code base, right? On chat GPT, even I was not aware of Python. Just a personal example, I'll say. Being a CTO, I'm not expected to write much code, but during my free time, what I do is anything which is related to Python because my team is working on Python and I haven't worked in Python in my career. This is the first time I'm working on Python. Being a CTO, working on Python, right? So I'm using chat GPT as a tool where multiple scripts I've written now. I've learned multiple things in Python in last 40 days. I'm writing scripts for monitoring my Rabbit MQs, writing scripts for my booking stuff here and there and all. So it helps people a lot to learn new things and even copy a code as such, which is already there. If you want to learn new technology, put it on chat GPT, put it on any other thing, Bard and all, multiple other things are coming up. It will give you line by line description of what the code is all about. So instead of just going through the books, going through, I would say, tutorials and all, have live code example as such there. It will teach you what the code is all about, every line, what it is doing, right? So that's where it is very important that these kind of technologies come up. And that's where we touched upon a point that these technologies will not kill the jobs. These technologies will help you enable as such, help the team members to write better code, write future code for us. So that's how these ecosystem are changing. That's how the technology landscape is changing. Again, touching upon a point in pet industry, because currently I'm in pet industry, touching upon a point there. See, we are working on app and web. So that's where pet parents will get real-time information, right? But think about a technology where you install a device like a GPS device in collar which your dog wear, right? And that give you real-time health monitoring and vitals of your pet. So for, I would say human being, we already have a smartwatch. We already have other products, but for pet, there is no product because even we can tell to the doctor, okay, we are facing this issue, right? Pets cannot tell. Pets can express through their feeling and all, but exactly what is happening to the pet, you'll not be able to tell till you don't diagnose a pet, right? So in West, US, even in Australia and all, there are organizations which are working on IoT products which you can put in your pet's, I would say, collar or near the neck and all. It will give you real-time monitoring, real-time health statistics that, okay, if your pet is eating this much, is he overweight? Okay, what is the health rate? If it is he feeling uneasy, what is the temperature of the body and all? Everything will be real-time, and those real-time alerts will be sent to pet parents on the app. So that's pretty cool. So that's where the technology is heading. We are also kind of trying, okay, in future, once these technologies will be adapt to it, even Vetic will be a part of it. But definitely there, that's where we are heading now.
Correct. Is there anything in India like that?
In India, currently it's not there. So I mentioned Brainwired. They are working on, not on pet, but on cattle stock. So you can install it on the ear of cattle and you can real-time health statistics. They'll be working on pet also. That's part of their roadmap. But in international market, in Australia, in I would say UK, in South Africa. Africa is a big market for cattle. So there you already have these kind of products. In India, cattle, like people are there to take care of their cattle because it's on the farms. In US, Australia, and all the farms are like multiple acres, and they have 10,000 cattle. You cannot track each and every cattle what they are using. So even you can. So if I talk about it, you can tell via the app that, okay, the cow has to take a right turn or a left turn. Via the app, you connect to that device which is installed on the ear of the cow, and just press a left or a right, and cow will start moving into that direction. That's the technology advancement which has been made in IoT devices, not pet, but yeah, IoT devices in general. So yeah, there are multiple things which are happening now.
Pretty cool, yeah. I mean, looking forward to these revolution coming in India also so soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we have limited time here, Vanshul. I'll just take two more questions.
Sure.
Can you, um, now that you are at the CTO level, can you give a roadmap, a quick roadmap to those aspiring developers who want to be at this level? What are the key skills that they would be needed to be a CTO tomorrow? So can you just give a quick snapshot on that?
See, it's an overall ecosystem which you need to build. The first thing is when even anyone starts their career, they'll be doing active coding and all. Then they'll be working on managing smaller teams, smaller pods, where you learn those leadership skills, how to delegate the task, how to manage conflicts, how to kind of give more power to your team members and all. Then you'll be working in a role where you'll be having even managers whom you are managing, right? So it's not just direct individual ICs assets which you will manage. You will be managing the manager. So you'll be manager of manager. Then you'll be growing to a role which is CTO and all. CTO as a role earlier was okay. If he's a C-level person, he'll not be doing active coding. He'll be like a boss or a leader in the organization. But nowadays, if you see smaller startup, 3 years experienced person, resource assets are becoming CTO because they start their career from technology. They are a technology person who is a chief technology officer because he is the most senior person in the organization with 5 interns or 3 interns and all. So CTO as a role of a organization which is up of a big scale as such is different than being CTO of an organization which is a startup, because in startups you learn more, you are more hands-on, you're working with multiple teams, but definitely you're a hands-on person because your team will look forward to any problem solving when they are stuck. So that's where I would advise all these folks who aspire to become CTO or engineering managers, even become leaders, directors, and all that. Learn these technologies because that will be important when you become a CTO of a startup. You will have to do active coding. It's not expected, but if you do active coding, it will be helpful because even you will learn something new every day and you'll not become bored as such, right? Because there will be a time when you have free time, learn something new, code and all. So that's my advice to all these members.
Great. One last question, Vanshul. Since the funding winters were going around, a lot of tech layoffs have been happening, and still it does come into the news about a lot of layoffs, right? And it does create panic situation um, among the folks who have been affected by this. So, what would be your suggestions and your recommendation on how to make yourself recession proof, or maybe how to deal with situations like that, or so that you can come out stronger?
See, just being honest, no organization is recession proof and no one is recession proof. We have seen layoffs across the industry because of funding winter. Most of the organizations who have done layoff, they have overhired, I'll say, because there were projects which were in pipeline and they have hired for those projects. And even if you see in news, right, there was a mention of a particular person in a big organization where she has mentioned that she was not working for last 7 months and being paid $100,000 in salary or something without even working a single day. She was earning $100,000 salary. That's how the funding was being burnt by multiple bigger organizations also. New age startup founders are very aggressive on profitability. So definitely there are organizations where you will see, okay, because we need to attain profitability, we have to do a bit of layoff and all. And in case you are in that unfortunate situation where you are laid off, definitely that's a setback. I'll not say that, okay, you start kind of going through different portals and going through different, you will definitely need take time to kind of adjust to that situation if it's the first time for you. But then when you take care of the overall situation and all, start learning, start preparing for the interviews, because a person who is working in an organization for those 3 months where you are learning for those 3 months, right, he'll be working on the similar thing. But you have an opportunity to learn 3 different technologies in 3 months because of the online presence of technology. So definitely upskill yourself if you get into that unfortunate situation and start applying for jobs. Give one interview. If you feel that, okay, you are just up to 20% mark, don't give other interviews as such. Don't apply to multiple jobs in a hush. learn and then apply for the other job, because in case the opportunity is lost, you'll not get the opportunity again. So just learn first and then only you apply for multiple jobs. Definitely there are jobs in the market right now also. It's not that, okay, no one is hiring. Even we are hiring and multiple other organizations are hiring. But you need to have those skills which are up to date for the market, because the salaries are not that crazy. You'll have to adjust to it. But definitely there are jobs in the market.
Right. There was one more suggestion that we got lately by one of our mentor only, and he said that don't get yourself overpaid. You know.
First one as such to be removed from the organization, because see, if you are getting, I'll take a simple example. If you are getting say 5 lakhs, organization will be expecting a work of at least 50 lakhs from you, right? So at least 10x, because they have their overheads, they have their expenses, your insurance, office, Wi-Fi, everything and all, right? So definitely if you are getting 50 to 60 lakhs as an engineer, none of the engineers in the startups will be able to justify their salary, because definitely the amount of work which they'll be doing will not be justifying the salary. So that's where if you were getting overpaid and you feel that, okay, I'll be getting the same salary in current situation also, it's impossible. I'll quote an example here. During Lokanav's time, there was a person who was getting 15 lakhs of salary, right? And we offered him 22, which was a decent jump. He got a 45 lakh salary in Bangalore, 2.5 years experience. So these
That's a crazy jump.
That kind of crazy jumps were happening in 2021 when the boom was there and people were kind of aggressively hiring, giving I would say crazy salaries to multiple folk. But now those are the guys who are finding it difficult to be in the organization because their lifestyle has changed. They are spending more money, and now people are asking them to either take a job, take a pay cut, or kind of move out of the job, right? And in external markets, we are not getting these kind of salaries nowadays.
Right. Awesome. I think that was the last question of this conversation, Vanshul, and it have been a great conversation with you. We touched upon a lot of aspects from, things that developers should take care of when they are very early on their career, to if they want to move from an IC role to a team lead sort of a role, to how to kind of prevent yourself from, in this layoff market, right? How to kind of avoid that situation. So thank you so much, Vanshul, for taking out the time and having this conversation with us. Really enlightening discussion today. And I'm pretty sure that the conversation that we have had is going to definitely help developers out there who are listening to the conversation. So thanks. Thank you once again for being a part of this.
Thanks, Ashmi. Thanks the Recruit team for this invitation. Definitely, it was a good experience for me also, because I was sharing all my life experiences for the first time with external community. I would say I would have done it within my family, but yes, it was the first time for me also.
We would love to have you for more such conversation, Vanshul, and would love to invite you sometime for our community discussions also. So yeah, we'll reach out to you for that as well.
Sure, anytime.
All right. Thank you so much, Vanshul. Once again, have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.